Hello and welcome back to Zug's Guides on Broadside Gaming. Today we're going to be having a look at the Waystalker. So just a quick note, all of the builds and guides I've been showing have all been made by Royale W on the Steam community, so a big shout out to him for all of his legwork and just ingenuity for coming up with these builds. They're absolutely amazing, and this is literally just how I use the builds and how I tweak them slightly for my own preference and playstyle and sharing them with you guys. So let's go on with it. So we'll have a quick look at the talents first. So we've got Dryad's Thirst, damaging multiple enemies in one swing with a melee weapon grants temporary health, max 5 enemies. Just temp health is amazing, always good. Bloodshot. Bloodshot. Now this, for the build, is absolutely vital and amazing. After killing an enemy with a melee attack, Kerillian fires an additional arrow with a next range attack made within 10 seconds. This thing is just super overpowered with the bow that we'll be using for the build, which is the Moonfire bow. Because with the Moonfire bow, you have no ammo, but you can only fire between 4 to 5, depending on how buggy the bar wants to be, shots in a row before you have to recharge it. So getting 2 shots from that talent after a melee kill is really big. And as you can see, the Moonfire bow pretty much replaces the Hagbane bow in all circumstances. You get a nice big initial hit, like a longbow, and then a lot of tick damage. But I should talk more about that in a minute. We'll go back to the build. So, on the third row, you've got Assassin, dealing 20% more damage to staggered enemies. Always good, as the melee are going to be staggering and pushing all over the place. On the fourth row, we've got Rejuvenating Lotus. Amarathi also affects other members of the party. This is just really good for Legend of Kata. It's just to help out a bit with some of the regen. And on the fifth line, we've got Asari Focus, reduces the cooldown of True Flight Volley. Or True Shot Volley, sorry. Again, it's a bit of a no-brainer. Reduce the cooldown means you do more damage and just get those true shots off to get rid of, I don't know, Storm Vermin, specials, whatever you want. And Loaded Bow, True Flight Volley fires an additional arrow, which is just always good. It means you do more damage. So we've changed over from using a few of these. Body fires, Piercing Shot, dealing heavy damage. You're not really going to be wanting to use Piercing Shot or Kunaros' Reward. Because, you know, you don't have ammo. And Piercing Shot, dealing heavy damage, to refunds. You're just not really what you want. If you're using the Moon Bow, you want Loaded Bow. So that is the build. We'll have a quick look at the equipment. So mostly of this build, you'll be wanting to use the Sword and Dagger with attack speed and block cost reduction. But I do enjoy using the Elven Spear just because I enjoy the gameplay of it. So these aren't the stats you're going to want on it. It's just I don't have a second one at the moment. I don't want to destroy my Shades one. But if you did want to use the Elven Spear as well, you'd want to use the same stats that are on the Sword and Dagger, which are block cost reduction and attack speed with Swift Slaying. For the Moonbow, you want power versus inventory and power versus Skaven with Barrage. As you know, you'll be, if you're fighting against a monster or a particularly tough pack of elites, Barrage is going to help quite a bit. For your necklace, it's pretty standard: health, block cost reduction, and Boon of Shalia. So you've gone with Boon of Shalia instead of Bark Skin, because as a Kerillian, you don't want to be getting hit, and you don't want to be. Bark Skin's just not going to help you. You have not as much health, and just reducing the damage taken, you're still going to get crippled if you get hit. So effectiveness of healing is increased by 30% just to recover if you do get hit. Right, for your charm, you want power versus chaos and power versus inventory and decanter. Decanter's always nice, increases duration of potions, so if you want to be using a comp pot or a strength pot, usually a comp pot, you can get off more true shots. And for the trinket, of course, I'm using a legend one at the moment because it's got curse resistance on it, but it's curse resist and crit chance with shrapnel. Shrapnel's always good. It helps you melt down bosses, elites, and monsters. So we'll have a quick talk about the gameplay. So as you're playing the Waystalker, you of course want to be focusing more on ranged. You only really want to be switching to your melee weapon when either you're on recharging on your bow or to proc Bloodshot. As I said, Bloodshot is really important to this because it means your bow shoots 2 arrows at once, which is really big. Because as you can see with the Moonbow, big heavy hit and then a lot of tick damage. So for example, if you can see a horde coming up on you, you'd want to loose off a few drawn back shots. I'm not talking snapshots like this, because with the snapshots you don't get the big AoE explosion, you only do the tick damage and the damage to one target. With the drawn shots, you'll hit that one target and everything around it. Which leads me to my next point is, for the love of fucking God, do not shoot into melee while your team are fighting around them. You will kill them and you will piss them off. So be very wary of the friendly fire on this, because the explosion is slightly bigger than you think it is. So unless it is life or death, do not shoot into melee while your team are currently engaged with that pack. Try to pick off hordes that are coming towards you and, you know, weaken them and poison them before they get to you, and then switch into melee to finish them off. Again, you'll be wanting to use the same sort of technique against elites, monsters and all that sort of thing. Loose off some heavy shots, and also don't forget you can use your special attack button to zoom in. Every one of Kerillian's bows can zoom in with the Waystalker. So when there is a horde coming, or a pack, or anything, make sure you weaken them up for your team before they get you, and switch into melee and help out and try and trigger Bloodshot. So for her career skill, her ultimate is obviously True Shot, which is what I like to refer to as the fuck off and die button. Something's annoying you, you hit that, and it dies. Do be careful though, if you are trying to shoot an elite in a pack of mobs, you can't always guarantee you're going to hit it. So when you are targeting with the ability, the mob will actually go red that you're pointing at to guarantee that you'll hit that target. But if you're just snapping it off into a group to try and kill it, you won't always hit it. But that ability is massive, especially in the Chaos Wastes, for getting rid of Blightstormers, monks, everything really. Just be careful when you're using it with elites mixed into a horde. For that situation, you'll probably want to just go back to your bow and try and pick them off yourself. Yeah, so that has been my quick rundown of how the Waystalker works. I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I'll be updating some more guides as I go along, putting out some more, and probably going over my old ones in case I've missed anything. So, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again. See you later.